It's Glam Life Kim, and you are tuned in to 89.9 KMOJ. And right now, I am here with one of my favoriteest people the Twin City. You better know it, Mr. Anthony Taylor. How are you today,
I'm good,
bro?
Sister.
Good?
You one of my favorites too now. So, it's not just the holiday season. It's a season of friendship and community, and you know what I'm saying. Just really loving the people that you be with, and
yes, that's what it's all about.
It's all about that.
It is.
And when I see your face, it's like it makes it a whole lot better.
Oh,
you know what I'm
that's so sweet, and yours as well. Look at the sunshine outside, though. Like this is unbelievable. I am so ecstatic about this sunshine.
My car temperature said 45 degrees.
Oh, wee.
And I was like, yes.
In Minnesota,
right.
God is good.
Because when we talking about no snow, like we cool.
We
with
did.
Right?
We are cool with that. I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I mean, I guess if you're into like the winter sports and activities, then you may want a little bit. I'm cool with it on Christmas Day, but then if it can just go away after,
I want no parts of none of that. None of that.
No parts of
it, man. Because I remember last when there was so much snow, it was so much emergency.
Man.
On the streets and stuff. So, no, this is gorgeous. So
it is. It is awesome.
I'm going to try to get outside. I can roll my window down and just, feel the breeze a little bit. So, it'd be beautiful.
It will be.
And another beautiful thing about it, too, is it's like, it gets darker faster. So, I'd rather have it nice, right?
Yes, period. Yeah. It is. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy. Did you put your Christmas tree up?
Man, I ain't even got a tree.
You didn't get a tree this year?
I'm going this weekend. I'm taking my son. He's going to get a tree.
Y'all going to go pick one out.
Or he might get that Christmas tree plant. So
look, hey, you like the easier the better. Whatever's simple.
Right. But I ain't getting my tree, but it's going down this weekend.
It is going down.
Yes, indeed.
I did just put mine up yesterday.
How was it? Did it look good?
Oh, it looks great. Okay. So, hey, y'all, follow me on Instagram, glamlife_Kim. And if you go on my story, I did a poll. Do you want to see my tree? So y'all click on it. Tomorrow morning, I'll post it.
You better not disappoint.
Oh, I think you guys will like it. It's different.
All right.
It's different, but hopefully you'll like it.
Knowing you, it's going to be slamming. So I already know. Hey, y'all, listen, it is my pleasure to be with you. Welcome to Minneapolis 360. I'm your host, Anthony Taylor, riding shotgun with my girl, Glam Life Kim. Always my pleasure to come to you every second and fourth Wednesday of the month to be able to just have a good conversation. And y'all, today, listen, I kind of talked about it a little bit before we got on the air. And we're going to talk a little bit about tap water, right?
As he's drinking his water bottle. As I'm drinking
my water bottle. I am flagrant, but don't blame me. I'm not at the house, so I can't drink tap water. But there's a lot of misconceptions about tap water. And I want to kind of get into a conversation about Minneapolis's tap water, and I know some of the people, buy bottled water and things like that, but there's some really good information I want folks to kind of just take a look at and listen to with my guest today. But before I bring them on, I want to talk about a couple things, you guys, and one of the biggest things I really want you to understand, Minneapolis, is that the 311 Service Center will be closed Tuesday, December 19th for one day. Staff are going to really take a training, a kind of a retreat to just really reimagine how they service delivery is done to residents so people can be continue to get excellent service. Business will resume Wednesday, December 20th. You can still call 311, leave a message. Somebody will get back to you as well. So I just want to make sure folks understand that there's a lot of people who use the service center. So
we always say when in doubt,
call 311, right? And they ain't going to be closed.
It's going to be closed. I can't even believe that. That just seems unreal.
But they never take a day off. And I think sometimes they deserve it. Yeah.
Even though they're still going to be working.
They still going to be working. But, leave a message. Hopefully there's no situations that you need immediate assistance.
You still got 911.
You still got 911. Absolutely, Kim. Also, too, in 2024, minimum wage increases to $15.57. First on January 1st, 2024, larger employers with more than 100 people start paying at $15.57. Next on July 1st, 2024, other employees 100 or less will receive the same amount. So if you want to really find out more about your money, Kim, call 311 or go to minimumwage@minneapolismn.gov. .gov.
Now, is that just in the city of Minneapolis?
That is just in the city of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you live in St. Cloud,
right,
you can't expect.
It's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might want to move to the city. It's a beautiful city.
Right.
So come on back down here and work if y'all in St. Cloud, y'all.
Right.
Also, too, city is covering adoption pet fees for animals at the Minneapolis Animal Care and Control. Yes, go to the website, minneapolismn.gov, search animals or pets. You know, there's a lot of pets out here that need a home. And if, you know, definitely for the holiday season, I can't think of a better gift for a young person, too. So you're going to look into that?
Baby.
Yeah. So get that Christmas tree picture with the dog and the family and everything else. See there?
So
putting
cute.
ideas in your mind.
Look, you sure are. God.
And lastly, y'all, before we start our guest, you know, we talked a lot about it, and we've had civil rights come on, and it really just encourages people to file a complaint if you feel you've been discriminated against. One of the most important things I think that we want as a city is to be able to investigate those complaints. You can, there's a protected class, race, sex, disability, national origin, and more. It includes public housing discrimination. So Section 8 protections are in place, you know. So just really make sure that if you are felt you've been discriminated against, please go to minneapolismn.gov. You can search discrimination complaint. The form is in languages, including Spanish, just to make sure folks are aware that there are people out there that will help you.
File that complaint.
File that complaint. Yeah, absolutely. Because one of the things I think is important is that you don't want to be put in situations where people are treating you unfairly, right?
Absolutely.
That's just not going to happen.
Right.
Yep. So call 311.
We
can't let that happen. Absolutely. And listen, Minneapolis, we're going to talk about tap water, y'all. I got two people on today that are going to come talk about tap water. I got George Kraynick, the manager of water quality laboratory services and the water treatment and distribution service division of Minneapolis Public Works, and Kristen Klingler, senior public health specialist with the Minneapolis Health Department. Welcome, George and Kristen, to Minneapolis 360. How y'all doing?
Great.
Thank you. Great.
We are talking about tap water, George. Let's get it started, man. Tell us what it is that we're talking about with tap water in Minneapolis and all the aspects that goes into that.
Yeah, so first off, we get our water from the Mississippi River, and we've been pulling water out of the river for a long time. It all started back in the 1860s, that area called the Mill District. They had a lot of fires and explosions and things like that, and the city got asked, hey, can you guys provide water to help with the fire protection there? And the city said, sure. So in the 1870s, they started bringing that water out of the river to that area, and the other residents around were like, hey, this is pretty neat. Can you guys bring water to our homes? And the city said, of course. So they started off with some wooden water mains, and in 1872, they put a couple pump stations on the river and started bringing that water right out. Now, nowadays, we wouldn't just go down to the river and drink the water out, but back then, they thought it was pretty cool. Nowadays, we treat the water, we disinfect it. If you live in Minneapolis, you don't need a water softener, which is nice. And, we provide water to all the citizens and residents of Minneapolis, along with Crystal, Golden Valley, and Hilltop, Columbia Heights, Morningside, Edina neighborhood. If you go to the airport, that's our water there. And, all told, under every street, there's pretty much a water pipe that's bringing water from our two water plants into everybody's home. And we're just making sure it's safe. Every drop of water that we send out to the community has been tested to make sure that there aren't any bacteria or viruses and anything like that. So, we are obviously big proponents of that tap water.
Talking with Kristen and George about tap water. Now, Kristen, Minneapolis produces a lot of tap water. Who uses our water?
Yeah, well, like George mentioned, there's about 500,000 people who drink Minneapolis tap water every day. So if you're living in Minneapolis, it's going to your home or your apartment. If you're going to school, it's at your school building, all the other buildings across the city. And then, like George said, it also goes to some nearby cities, as well as the airport and even like Fort Snelling State Park. So you'll find Minneapolis water in a lot of different places.
And George, once it's treated, where does it go? How does it get to homes and businesses?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of reservoirs that are underground on our campuses. And then from there, pretty much every street in Minneapolis has a water pipe under it. So if you put them all from end to end, it would reach from Minneapolis to Washington, D.C. So whether an apartment building or a home or whatever, that water's coming under the ground, coming through what we call a service line, and then bringing it into your home or apartment or business for people to drink.
Now, if we're talking about water, we are one of the things I think like people know, like drinking water is beneficial to you, but like talk more about it, right? How does water impact a person's health, Kristen?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I work for the Minneapolis Health Department, and part of my job is to help people understand what foods and beverages they can eat to help promote good health. And so I always say that water is one of the best things that you can drink to have really good physical and mental health. So first of all, water has 0 calories and it has no added sugar like soda or energy drinks. Those all have added sugars in them. So water is a really healthy beverage, and it doesn't contribute to weight gain. It doesn't put you at risk for diabetes or other illnesses like high blood pressure or high cholesterol. It also helps to prevent dehydration, which is really important if you're exercising or if you're playing sports or in the summer when it's really hot outside. We really want to drink a lot of water. And it can help improve our muscle and our brain function and our mood. And Minneapolis water even contains a small amount of fluoride, which is a requirement of our state law. And that fluoride is really important because it helps strengthen our tooth enamel, it helps prevent cavities, and it helps reduce tooth decay, which is really important for young kids especially. So bottled water doesn't often have that fluoride added to it. And so our tap water offers an even better level of protection than bottled water. So that's why we really want to encourage people to drink more tap water.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you to dig into this next question, too, because I think it's important because there's a lot of people who don't trust the water that's coming out their faucet, right? And I used to live in places where, like, my moms were like, yo, we are not drinking this water.
It's yellow.
It's yellow. We were boiling this water, right? We're doing a lot of stuff, Kim.
Right.
It's untrustworthy to a lot of people, and that's a narrative, right?
It is.
So, like, Kristen, kind of talk about the concerns that people may have about Minneapolis's tap water specifically.
Yeah, we talk with a lot of community members, and the first thing we want everyone to know is that Minneapolis tap water is safe to drink. The city works really hard to make sure that we are delivering safe, clean tap water to everyone, and that tap water meets or even exceeds the federal and state safety standards. So you can trust the Minneapolis tap water, and it is definitely safe to drink. Now, people in the community might have different experiences with tap water. For example, we have a lot of people who are coming from another country, and that tap water may not be safe to drink in their home country. So when they get here to Minneapolis, they kind of carry that tradition and that custom with them, and they think that maybe Minneapolis tap water isn't safe either. But actually, Minneapolis drinking water is safe and healthy. And actually, something that's really good to know is that we test our water about 500 times a day to make sure that it's safe and that we're maintaining a really high level of quality. So you don't need to be concerned about the safety of the water. Other people might have just bad experiences from when they were younger, or they might have something like you said, the water might be discolored. So the water is safe to drink. And it actually, people are often having experiences from other places outside of Minneapolis, or hearing stories about what's happening in places like Flint, Michigan, or in Mississippi, where they are having problems with their water. But we do a really great job here of testing and protecting our water supply, so it is a safe option to drink.
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of times I think even though we don't necessarily live in those places, we feel folks' pain, right? You know, we understand that and we see it. So a lot of that trauma is passed through us, through other people's experience. So 100%, and I'm glad you talked about Flint and Mississippi. So George, like, just kind of jump into this topic too, right? You know, because we buy a lot of bottled water, right? So just kind of what's your thoughts on buying bottled water? Because we know there's a lot of people who don't trust, water out of the pipes.
Yeah, and, I'm not going to say bottled water's horrible, right? I mean, if you're traveling, it's very convenient, things like that. But if you're living at home in the city, in Minneapolis, you're spending a lot of money for something you really don't need. If you go and buy a bottle of water at a convenience store, the cost of that bottle of water could fill your bathtub up 10 times with our water. It's roughly around 2 cents for 5 gallons of our water. And like Kristen said, we test that water 500 times per day. Every drop of water that's coming out of our water plants and coming out to your home has been tested. And you can't say about that for anything else that you have in your house when you go to the grocery store and buy other stuff. And another thing people don't really think about too is that bottled water, that plastic bottle, where does that go? You throw it away, and it ends up usually going into a landfill, or sometimes they recycle them and things like that. But it's a big environmental issue as well. But I would say the biggest thing is you don't need to spend the money on it. We have really good, high quality, safe tap water here in the city. And if you're ever concerned about your tap water, if it's discolored, just call 311. You guys were mentioning it before. You can call them up. They can put you in touch with somebody in our laboratory. We can come out to your home and test your water for you. If you're concerned about lead, you guys were talking about Flint, Michigan a little bit. We actually provide free lead testing for anybody in the city. You can call 311, give them your information. We'll send you out a kit. It's all paid for. The postage is paid for. It has directions on how to sample your water, and you send it back to us free of charge. And we'll let you know if there's, because usually what we see, if there's any lead, it's not coming from the piping. It's coming from the faucets, the fixtures, and things like that. Yeah. And we'll actually help you with that. We'll actually come out and do more testing and, tell you where exactly it's coming from. So, there's a lot of options that people have. You shouldn't have dirty water. You shouldn't have smelly water, discolored water. If you're seeing that, give us a call, let us know, and we'll come out and take care of it.
I'm glad we're discussing this today because I always go by cases of water. And you know what? Recently I started, like when I take my pill in the morning or my vitamins, I've been using my little cup to put, water in straight out of the faucet. And you're right. I have not had any concerns about it. So maybe I can start to, get rid of my bottled water.
You can, but and just listening to George, you ain't got to buy no bottled water. That's gonna be hard.
Waste of money.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. People to not buy bottled water. Yeah, I know what you're saying, George. It's a mental thing. It's like telling people they can't go to their Starbucks or their Caribou in the morning and get their coffee, right? So that might be hard, George. But I hear what you're saying, right?
When you have guests over, you're like, you know what? Let me get you some of this tap water.
That might be hard to sell, yeah. But
I think I would go for the coffee over this.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, George, and I appreciate you. Kristen, I'm going to bring you back, right? Because a lot of listeners live in St. Paul and they receive, information about lead levels in their tap water. Is there any concerns? And George talked about, being tested 500 times a day. Is there any lead concerns in Minneapolis?
No, that's not something that Minneapolis residents need to be concerned about. So like George has mentioned before, our city is consistently delivering safe tap water that meets or exceeds all of those federal and state requirements for water safety. So, and like he mentioned that, sometimes if you're living in an older home that's, built before 1986, it might still have some lead pipes or fixtures. And so there's a small chance that the lead from those fixtures could get into your water, but it doesn't happen very often. And we actually have a program in Minneapolis, a lead corrosion control program that's been in place since 1994. And that's one of the ways that we prevent lead from getting into our tap water, and we protect the drinking water for the entire water supply in the city. So not something that Minneapolis residents need to be concerned about. But if you do have questions, like George said, you can definitely call 311 and get that free at-home lead testing kit. And you can see for yourself. You can test it yourself and get the results back from the lab, and you can know exactly what is going on with your water so that you can feel confident in drinking the water straight from the tap.
Yeah.
For those just tuning in, do you want to repeat again the cities? I know it's Minneapolis, but you also kind of said Robbinsdale. What other cities get the same water?
So again, Kristen, talk about that. Who else gets water from Minneapolis?
Yeah, so like George said before, there's nearby cities like Columbia Heights, Crystal, Golden Valley, Hilltop, New Hope, and also the Morningside neighborhood of Edina. And then we're one of the sources for Bloomington's tap water. And then if you're at the Minneapolis airport or at Fort Snelling, they have our water as well.
Yeah, and because KMOJ goes everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not just talking this Minneapolis. So excellent point, Kim. And as Kristen, we talk about that. Like, what are we doing to promote the trust in our community with tap water?
Yeah, so we're really excited because the city, our health department and public works have been working really closely with different community organizations to launch the Minneapolis Tap Water Ambassador Program. And that is a program where we are able to train adults and youth from different communities across Minneapolis, and they become like the water champions or the trusted messengers. And so we teach them about how Minneapolis water comes from the river and is treated and goes out to the homes and buildings in Minneapolis. And then they can go and talk to their friends and their neighbors and their family about the tap water. And they can tell them their own experience with tap water and why Minneapolis tap water is safe and healthy to drink. So we're really excited to be working with these ambassadors and helping to support them as they conduct this education and outreach in their neighborhoods and their different cultural communities to help overcome some of those concerns that people might have about tap water and really try to encourage people to drink tap water on a regular basis.
And how can folks want to sign up to be a tap water ambassador?
Yeah, we're going to be recruiting a new round of tap water ambassadors starting in February of next year, so just a few months away. And if you're interested in learning more about the Tap Water Ambassador Program, or if you want to be trained to be an ambassador, the best thing to do is to email us at healthyliving@minneapolismn.gov, and we can give you more information on the application process.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Is this paid positions too, Kristen?
Yes, these are, we do have funding for these positions that comes from our Public Works Department. So we're really excited to be able to support people in going out to their community and talking about tap water.
Definitely. Appreciate that. And George, I want to leave you with the last word here as we run up against the clock. Like, what's the message, right, that you really want folks to take away from our conversation about tap water today?
Yeah, just that it's safe. There is no substitute for tap water. It's really cheap, and it's been tested, and it's just such a great value and bargain, and that you don't need to go to the store to get water for cooking, and you don't need to, basically spend that money when you don't have to. And it's, bottled water's not cheap. And that tap water, like I said, we're regulated. Everything that comes out of your tap has been tested multiple times a day, 500 times a day. And just try it. If you haven't drunk tap water for a while, give it a shot. It's nice and cold this time of year, and it tastes great.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Kim.
I was just going to say it's free.
And it's free. Yeah, absolutely. and it's free. And you sound so enthusiastic too, George. Like, where did your passion come from about just water and just general, like some of the work which you do?
I've been doing it for a long time, believe it or not. I've been doing it since the early 90s, and I just got into it out of college working at a water plant, and I never really thought about where tap water came from. And when I started working at this water plant in Pittsburgh, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And you get to provide this great product to people that keeps them safe, that helps put out fires and, grows plants, and the fish are swimming around in it. It's just fun. It's always changing. We're always looking at ways to improve the water quality and making sure it's safe. And it's one of those things, once you get into it, it's hard to get out because it's just so rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kristen, just you, like, where does your passion come just working in the health department? Because you wear a lot of different hats. So just where's your passion come from?
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of work with community partners around educating people about the amount of sugar that they're consuming in some of their other drinks, like energy drinks or soda or even coffees and teas. And it's just really fun to be able to talk about tap water as being a really healthy beverage, and it makes you feel good. And it just really is good for your overall physical and mental health. So I love that part. And I think it tastes great, too. I think it's the most delicious drink in the world, is what I tell people.
And Kim said it's free, too,
it's
right?
Free.
So you can't beat that.
Right.
Hey, listen, I appreciate both of you carving out some time in your busy work day. You're always welcome back here on the show. So thank you very much for coming to Minneapolis 360, y'all.
We appreciate you both.
Oh, thank you guys. It's our pleasure.
Thanks.
Yeah, we talking about tap water, Kim. I had a hard time not laughing what you said because you're right. And listen, and this is what it is, right? You understand that we want to promote healthy water. They did a great job,
They
right,
did.
of saying the ins and outs of.
They sold me.
You're right. They did 500 times, tested a day, but. You're right. You said, when you come over to somebody's house and they give you that bottle, that bottle, and they give you the tap water in the cup.
Would you like some water? Yeah, right. Yes. And then you give them a cup and they watch you go in the sink.
That might be hard. They might not come back.
They may be like, I only drink bottled water because that's people mental.
100%, 100%. So no, I totally get it. So it's interesting.
So now we're gonna have to become ambassadors.
We gotta come ambassadors.
So we can help sell it.
Yeah, because
right.
I'm still I'm.
You're not all the way sold.
I ain't there yet. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But he said it, and like you said, they did a great job of convincing you, and I think maybe I'll get there. So
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna get me a cup, and I'm gonna pour it in there, and I'm gonna drink a full cup and see what happens. Then I'm gonna get another cup and I'm put ice in it, or after I drink that, then I'm put ice in it. Then I'm gonna see what it's like with ice. And if it tastes like my spring water.
You're doing a tasting test.
I'm doing a taste test for water. Minneapolis water. I'm for sure ambassador. Let me go get a job.
Yeah, I heard that. Let them get them get paid. Hey, appreciate you. Always good to see you, sister.
Oh, you as well. You as well. You getting ready for the holidays?
Yeah, like this weekend, I'm going to try to get everything I need. I got to Christmasify my house.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think I'm going to
You going to have your son this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to take him. I want to take him to take a picture with Santa.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But I got some things
about
around
Santa.
Santa.
Okay, yeah. So you got to decide.
I'm Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
You hear me?
Right.
I'm
so you
Santa.
like, look, right. You going to take a picture with me. Well, you know what? After you go get your Christmas tree, then you could take them to this boxing match. Yeah, at the Armory, Morrell versus Abecco. It's at 5:00. It's all ages. So, has he ever been to one before?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so. He might have seen me watch
something on TV.
On TV, yeah. But if
be an experience.
If he don't act right, we gonna have a boxing match.
A boxing match ourselves, the two of y'all, right in the living room.
Hey, man, them 2 weeks out of school is rough on parents.
I know. They start to get bored, and then next thing you know, attitudes are flying.
Right. I'm taking all this stuff back to the store.
Right.
I'm not a Grinch, y'all. I promise.
You're not the Grinch.
I'm not.
Okay. I was gonna say I got a costume, a Grinch costume. Man. He can take a picture with you as the Grinch.
No.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you, sister.
Of course. It was my pleasure. All right. Up next, we've got, 2000s playlist. Nelly and Ashanti is in town this weekend, too.
Are they?
Yes, they are at, I think it's the Target.
Power couple.
I know, right? They are so cute. I love to see their smiles.
I'm a huge Ashanti fan.
Are you?
Yeah.
You like Ashanti?
Yeah, just the Murder Inc. days.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? They was crushing the game. They was taking over the airwaves.
Well, and she's pregnant by him. I think the last I heard, she's pregnant by Nelly. So they are having a baby.
Start a family.
Yes.
They got enough money.
Right. Period. All right, Twin Cities, back into the music. Don't go nowhere.